to go. Now, joining me in studio is Peter Gitau, and he is director of Peter's Plots, a real estate agency, and he's going to tell us more about the diaspora real estate investment climate. Thank you very much for joining us, Peter.
Thank you very much, Malika.
So even just, listening to these numbers and thinking about the remittance that is coming in from the diaspora, it is huge.
It is.
And when we talk about them investing in real estate, what are the trends you're seeing now?
Well, I think the diaspora has a huge part to play in what is going on in the real estate in the country. But actually, if you look at 263 billion that they are bringing in, they could actually bring more. They could also come here and get actively involved. But there's a lot of things that are holding them back. And a lot of them are what we would call stereotype, cliche, things that happened in the past that they're still holding on to. And my appeal to the diaspora is they need to really catch up with what is going on in the country. I'll give you a few examples. There's still a lot of diaspora people who left Kenya a long time ago, and they still think that things are happening the way they used to happen 10, 15, 20 years ago. A lot of people in the diaspora need to understand that if you are buying a property in Nairobi today, you can actually conduct the search online. You do not need to do the physical search. You do not need to come here. You do not need to send anyone. They also need to understand that now we can buy building materials online. There are a lot of these companies that are selling roofing materials or any other materials can actually receive the payments via M-Pesa. You do not actually need to visit. You don't need to go to industrial or to companies.
So your physical presence is not a necessity.
It's no longer needed. They can also get their bill of quantities online. They can go to companies that do the manufacturing and, the construction. And those companies will be able to give them an estimate of how much will it cost to build a 3-bedroom house. They can get it online. So they need to understand that things have changed in the country for the better. The country is getting better, and it will continue getting better. So they shouldn't get stuck with the old stereotype that they will lose their money. The few diaspora people who have actually gotten themselves involved into the country today in what is going on are actually doing extremely well. So I would urge a lot of people in the diaspora, forget about the past. That was the past. Come, join us. Things have really changed. Land registries have been cleaned up. The construction industry has been cleaned up. You can actually see that we are now talking about buildings that are in the wrong place, and some of them are being brought down.
Yes.
So they should not get discouraged.
Okay, and when we do talk about, of course, the diaspora bringing in this additional revenue, the remittance that we've seen, and we see them coming through, it's also very clear that sometimes, like you said, they don't physically need to be here, but they do it through family members, right? They will send money to their family members, their friends, and they will tell them, okay, so this, and this is how I would like it to be spent or engaged with, and things like that. But even that comes with a set of its own challenges, because sometimes it's not always the most trustworthy avenue.
Let me say this, Malika. I keep asking the same question. If you're a Kenyan in the US and you're sending your money to a Kenyan in Central Province or in some part of the country, Kilifi, Western, wherever, but that relative has never built a stone house. That relative is actually living in, say, a wooden house or a mud house. How do you expect that relative to build you a stone house? If that relative is not a contractor, how do you send somebody 7 million Kenya shillings in the village and expect that person to do for you a 3 or 4 bedroom stone house if he's never or she's never built a house? In fact, in my opinion, the people who do that, the diaspora people who send money to family members, asking them to do a monumental task which they've never done, actually should be blamed, not the family members. If I've never constructed a house that is 10, 20 stories high, why do you send me money and ask me to do it?
Fair enough.
It is you who actually should be blamed.
So then their option is online and to deal with the contractor on a one-on-one basis?
If they're doing it to save money, why don't they email a contractor, email an architect, email a building surveyor, what can I call them? Email any professional that is involved in that field, and let these people give you the guidance. If you send 10 million shillings to your relative in the village, you are actually causing more harm than anything else, because what you're doing is you're giving this guy a very rough time. He's probably never even bought a bag of cement. Where do you want him to start? And then you go around saying that he stole your money. But it's you who gave him such a huge task that he's never done. And before you know it, the money is gone.
So have you seen a lot of these cases in your work?
A lot of them. They happen all the time. And I would like to tell the Kenyans in the diaspora, stop it. You should stop it. You should not send relatives money if he's never built a house, a stone house.
Yes.
Don't think that he will start just because you're sending 4 million. In fact, you are contributing to the loss of your money, and you're turning around and accusing the relative of losing money, yet it's you who put him in such a difficult situation.
Okay.
He wouldn't even know where to buy the roofing materials from.
So it's your onus, basically. It's
Absolutely.
on you. Now,
Absolutely.
you know, when we talk about money coming in from the diaspora, which particular countries have we noted the largest inflow from?
Well, a lot of them, of course, because the majority of Kenyans, the big number is in America. So you get a lot of people sending money from the U.S.
Okay.
Now, we've just flown our Dreamliner from Nairobi to New York.
Yes,
I
October.
checked that, yes, absolutely, you're right. And I checked that it's about 80,000 Kenya shillings return. I stand to be corrected.
Fairly,
maybe,
the average.
roughly. Maybe I stand to be corrected.
Yes.
Instead of you sending 3 million or 4 million shillings to your relatives here, hop onto that plane, 80,000, take off from your 4 million, hop onto that plane, come here. Earlier I said building surveyor. What I meant was a quantity surveyor.
Okay.
Meet a quantity surveyor, let him tell you, this is how much it will cost, this is how we are going to do about it, and then hire someone to do it. Let's stop this issue of my family stole my money. You sent the money to your family, there's nothing they could have done, they lost the money. Let's stop it.
So clearly, it's a very topic you're very passionate about, and of course, there are also a lot of challenges that these people do face. I mean, you save up. It's not easy out there to get that job that's giving you enough money for you to even save up to invest back home. So it's understandable. But also, when we talk about key factors that need to be in place when you're buying a plot, when you're investing in a piece of land, when you're going to construct, what are the basic, licenses you need, or things you need to look out for that people generally don't tend to know of?
Well, I would say this, Malika. This information is readily available online. Just Google it, it's there. This topic is always in the media, almost every week. Everybody understands that before you buy property, you need to conduct a search in the registries. And everybody understands that the system across the country is manual. A manual system means it will take time. You get a lot of these people who are in the US, who are in Europe. Things happen so fast in the West. I lived in the West for a long time, almost 10 years. And you could buy a plot from the comfort of your living room. You didn't need to go anywhere. All you needed to do was visit the plot, then come back, get the information, and do everything online. You don't do that here. You need to maybe visit a few offices when you are processing the ownership documents. So I'll tell them, the process is manual, meaning it will take time. Now, you get people who are very, very impatient. They'll make their payment in January. They want their title deed in March. Now, it's not possible in most cases, because there's 300,000 other people also wanting their title deeds. But they get impatient, and that's where things start going wrong, because they start pushing the registry to do the wrong things. Therefore, let them understand that conduct an official search, and after that, please be patient, and everything will be okay.
Okay, and finally, as we just wrap up really quickly, are there some hidden costs that people need to look out for? You as an expert, yes, you've said it's widely talked about in the media, but there are still some people who are hesitant because of, they've seen land grabbing cases, they've seen things like that, which makes them skeptical, and fair enough. I mean, if you don't know anything about it and you're a first-time buyer, of course, they would feel skeptical or suspicious. So are there some hidden costs that you think that people need to look out for when they are buying property, not just from the diaspora side, of course, but locally?
Ideally, there are no hidden costs. If you're buying property through a lawyer, then there's a legal fee for the lawyer. After that, all the other fees you pay are government fees. They're not hidden. You actually should get a receipt for everything, including the lawyer's fees. Now, when you buy the property, there's the cost of the property, all right? That's the purchase price.
Yes.
Then after that, transfer that property to your name.
Okay.
Now you'll need to pay the government because the government is the one doing it for you.
Okay.
So you'll need to pay a stamp duty, and you get a receipt, and that is paid to KRA.
Okay.
If you're paying any registry fee, which is minimal, for example, if you're getting the consent to transfer the property, then that would be roughly, it could be anything between 5,000 shillings and 10,000 shillings for a special class of property, like the freehold, mostly the farmland. And then it will be a little bit higher on other properties, like the urban properties. Again, stamp duty will be different depending on what kind of property. That's where you need a bit of guidance.
Yes.
If you're buying from, in the farmland, it will be probably 2%. And then if you're buying in urban areas, it may be a little bit higher. So there's no hidden cost. It's just government fees and the legal fees. There will be other things like agencies asking for their fees, brokers asking for their fees, but that's really between you and the brokers and the agents.
So it's always a safer route to have them guide you.
Absolutely. I would think the best route to go is go see a lawyer who clearly understands conveyance. The process of transferring property is called conveyance. Go see a lawyer or come to people like us who are in the real estate and we've been there for so long. Then we'll guide you.
All right, thank
Absolutely.
you. Thank you so much, Peter. You really shed quite a bit of light when it comes to, of course, real estate in the country and especially diaspora involvement. So much appreciated.
Thank you, Malika.
Okay, that was Peter Gitau of Peter's Plots. They're talking to us.